What is your advice for Democrats? Like when you hear, like I'm a lifelong Democrat, right? I felt very disillusioned by the fact that like I don't think we had a fair chance to actually pick a candidate for president in the past 3 elections. Like I didn't feel like there was a fair primary process at all.
You're right.
And I was really like, do you think that's a fair assessment?
It's not only a fair assessment, it's a true assessment.
Yeah.
There was no primary process in 2024. Bernie in 2020, I mean, I was the co-chair of his campaign after he won Nevada. All the prediction markets said 70% he's going to be the nominee. Then what happened? Buttigieg drops out suddenly 2 days later, even though he's doing well, endorses Biden. Klobuchar suddenly drops out, endorses Biden. Beto drops out, endorses Biden. Like, when does this happen? It's like you're in a track and field race. You got 10 people. One guy's a little bit ahead, and then every other person on the field just endorses the guy ahead so that he wins, and the guy coming second doesn't happen. It's like never in sports, you'd never allow this. And yet that's what happens. And that's how they beat Bernie. So no, that was not a.
Why do you think they did that?
Well, they were afraid of what Bernie was standing for. Bernie was talking about taking on big insurance companies, taking on the pharmacy benefit managers, taking on the defense contractors, taking on Wall Street from buying up single-family homes. He was actually going to fight to end super PACs. He would have not just said, "Oh yeah, I'm for a livable wage." He would have called out senators saying, "You know what? That senator is not for raising the wage," and voting against it.
Well, what do you think motivated the other people that were running to just drop out and support and endorse Biden?
They get promised a cabinet position, right? Like they get promised a piece of the pie. They're like, okay, you're not going to run this time, but you run next time. Don't let me put words in your mouth. What do you think?
Yeah, look, they're good people, but they say, look, you can run in the future. We're gonna make you committee chair. We're gonna make you in the cabinet. We're gonna make sure this is good for your career. And then they appeal to, well, Bernie Sanders couldn't win. Do you really want Donald Trump to be president? And
well, I think what Al is asking, and maybe you answered it already, and he's not. We had Pete on the pod. We really loved him. We thought he was awesome. You named him as one of the guys who dropped out. Do you feel like he's a little bit compromised having dropped out, or no? I think that's what he was trying to get at.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think he should have dropped out and endorsed Biden. I don't think that was a fair process. I think you should have just allowed the process to play out. And in my view, there were a lot of people who voted for Bernie who were upset about it. But then it's not just that. You've seen this bombing in Gaza going on with Netanyahu. You know, I voted against giving the extra funding to Netanyahu. It's one of the reasons that some of the interest groups have targeted me because I think that October 7th was horrific and Israel had a right to defend themselves. But after 3 months, they had destroyed most of the Hamas battalions. It's been 2 years later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dead.
Now, that was really brilliant. What you did is evading the Pete answer and then taking us to something that we cannot argue. That was good. That was slick. Indian, respect. Myself, very good.
But I did I not answer, Pete? I think
That's not a yes and no. I'm going to be honest.
What I was saying though is that more people in the Biden administration, others should have called out what was going on in Gaza. And I figured with Pete was not. That he dropped out, I disagreed with it, but I was getting back to Pete, is that he and others should have been calling out this unconditional money going to Netanyahu.
Absolutely.
I just find I just kind of funny that like the last few days we've been lectured by, a lot of, staunch liberals who pretended that the person they voted for wasn't dead for 4 years. Like they pretended Biden wasn't senile for 4 years, and we're getting lectured for criticizing the person that I voted for. Like, I think they're pretending
they had a really viable, awesome candidate that we all should have voted for, and not just acknowledging.
Lecturing you. I mean, I don't get it because they think you.
We platformed him. We talked to him.
Not even that. It's just they're like, you should have known better. This guy's a career con man. He just always lies. You should have known. And it's like,
no, Dom. That's why the Democrats lost. It'd be like, look, I represent Silicon Valley. It's like, let's say there's the latest version of the iPhone. And people are like, you know what? This iPhone really isn't good. We're going to go buy some other phone. And a bunch of people at Apple sitting around saying, you know what? They're really stupid. They should really like the iPhone. Guys, we got to tell them why they should like the iPhone, as opposed to saying, you know what? This iPhone really sucked. Maybe we got to look at in the mirror and change our party. It's not the Democratic Party is not entitled, Andrew, to your or Kash or anyone's vote. It's not like, oh, okay, just because your dad read the New York Times, you better vote for the Democrats for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Earn your vote. And the reality is we didn't earn your vote last time. We were in these overseas wars. We were taking big PAC money. We weren't talking about people's anger at the system with inflation. We didn't have a clear economic vision. People didn't feel us. And so, okay, they voted. And Gaza was going on, and we didn't even allow a Palestinian American to speak at the DNC. And so, we could keep having more of the same. We can keep putting up these status quo folks, and we can keep losing, or we can realize that people are angry in this country at both parties, and we got to take on the establishment.
I haven't figured out if this is a good thing or bad, and I want to get your opinion on it. So I feel like Republicans, even if they disagree, they all fall in line. If Trump says, hey, I want to do this, they fall in line. With Dems, there's fractured. You say old guard, new guard, and you guys disagree quite a bit. Do you think that's a good thing for the party or a bad thing?
I think it's a good thing. I think the Republicans disagreed a lot in 2016. They had this guy, Donald Trump, who basically went on the stage. Jeb Bush was supposed to be president, and he said, Jeb, you can't even call the Iraq War a mistake. And he transformed that party. He insulted Mitch McConnell. He insulted Jeb Bush. He said all these people don't know what they're talking about. They got us into these wars. They're talking about cutting Social Security. No one liked him in the party. But he stuck to his guns. I think the Democrats sometimes we're too polite. Yeah. We're not willing to call out our leadership. I got in so much trouble because I said Chuck Schumer was making a mistake by not allowing a war powers resolution vote on the Iran deal. They're like, how can you criticize the Senate majority leader of your own party? I think what people want is for folks to just call balls and strikes, to be blunt.
We love that.
Now, dude, I'm tired of the cult of politics. Like, I'm not some fucking Democrat cult member, Republican cult member. Like, we're supposed to be free Americans that can make up decisions on our own, call balls and strikes, as you say, and then hold the people in power accountable. When people fail us and fail us on the promises they make, we should criticize them. Like, what is the alternative? We just vote and then agree with every single thing that person does. I love Obama. I voted for Obama. I didn't vote for fucking drone strikes of a wedding. You know what I mean? Like, maybe you wait to the honeymoon or something, like target it, like
wait till they've been married 5 years.
Exactly.
Do them a favor.
Wait for the anniversary.
Wait for February 13th.
So it's like, you should hold the elected officials accountable. And we live in this like weird time where any measure to hold them accountable comes with immediate criticism. Your experience as a politician, or I guess we experience it as, for whatever people thrown in this, political mess. But there has to be a version, I think, also where as Democrats, like, this is a democracy. You want votes. You don't have enough. You lost last time, right? You want to win this time? If you see people that seem to have swayed over to Trump that are now disillusioned with Trump, you have the opportunity to build a coalition with those people. And you don't build a coalition by just going, hey, fucking idiot, why would you, stupid fucking, that's not how you build.
Totally agree with you. I think we've got to listen to people. And I agree with you on this point. Like, we can't cancel people. We need to have free exchange. We got to respect people, but it's got to be much more than that. The Democratic lesson is like, okay, let's not make people put pronouns on their emails. Fine, but it's much deeper than that. The problem in the country is you've got a Democratic Party that was too beholden to the interest groups, to the defense contractors, to the ideology of overseas wars, to not pushing for real reform. And if we run as a status quo party and like, you know what? Yes. Yeah, America is already great. Yeah, of course we're great. But you know what? Half this country has a declining standard of living. They don't think their kids are going to do well.
You're making a great point. And I think that the identity of the Democratic voter and the Democratic Party are quite separate. And I think the Democratic Party is a little bit split. Obviously, you have the Bernie side, which it seems that you're a part of, and then you have like the old guard side as well. But I think the Democratic voter doesn't believe that his party is tied to these billion-dollar corporation and special interest groups. I think that they believe in their heart, like I believe my entire life as a Democrat. I was like, I'm here for progress and making sure people's lives are easier and better, and I want to help as many people as possible. And once I think Democrats start realizing that that's actually not the priority of the party, that there are military contracts that need to get paid, that there are pharmaceutical companies that need to get paid, there are insurance companies that need to get paid, and those places are going to strip your ability to implement that progress that you want so bad. The second they start realizing that, I think they probably lean more towards a Bernie or more towards a you, or guys that actually have that at their heart or their identity. But there is a major chasm.